A meteor falls from space, and it crashes into Earth with a huge blast. No people die from the impact because this happens long before modern humans fill the world. Inside the broken rock, something alive comes down with it. Deep under the ground, that thing waits. About 400,000 years later, a small family lives near a cave, and they hear a strange sound coming from the dark. The father goes inside to check it, while the others stay behind in fear. He never comes back, and the thing inside eats his flesh. After that, it keeps his bones like a prize. Because of that, people later call the monster the Bone Keeper, even though almost no one truly understands what it is. Years pass, and the cave becomes a place full of stories and fear. Some people think the creature is only a myth, while others believe it is still hiding underground. Anyone who goes too deep never returns. In 1976, a journalist hears about the cave, and he decides it could become the biggest story of his life. He travels to Scotland with his camera, and he enters the cave alone. At first, he only finds darkness and old bones. Then the Bone Keeper appears. The attack is fast, and the journalist has no chance to escape. His camera drops to the ground, while his blood spreads across the rocks. The camera stays behind in the cave, and the man is never seen again. His story becomes another warning, but most people still refuse to believe it. In the present day, Olivia is trying to find the truth about her family, and she cannot let the past stay buried. The missing journalist was her grandfather, but she never got the chance to know him. Now her mother has vanished too, and Olivia believes she went to the same cave. To Olivia, this is no longer just an old story. Olivia does not go alone, because her friends have agreed to help her search. Ethan drives the group, and Nick sits beside him. Nadia, Annabelle, and Ravi come too, even though none of them fully understand what they are walking into. They think they are helping a friend, but they are also entering the home of something ancient. On the road, they see a woman trying to get a ride, and Nick quickly recognizes her. Her name is Ashley, and she is a popular travel YouTuber who makes videos about cheap adventures. She is supposed to visit a haunted place, but Olivia's cave story sounds much more exciting. Ashley joins them, even though Ravi does not like the idea. Ashley starts filming right away, and she treats the trip like perfect content. Nick tells her the legend, and he explains that the Bone Keeper eats people and collects their bones. Annabelle adds that Olivia's mother may have disappeared inside the cave, which makes the story even more serious. Ashley says her video could help spread the news, and maybe they could help find Olivia's mother. The group reaches a rented cabin, and most of them try to relax. Ashley keeps recording, while Ethan and Nick joke about the monster story. They do not really believe in the Bone Keeper, and they think this trip might help Olivia get closure. Olivia stays quiet because deep down she feels her mother is still connected to that cave. They still do not know the exact cave entrance, so they look for a professor named Harrison. People say he knows the old cave system better than anyone. That night, they visit a local pub, and the room goes quiet when they walk in. Missing person posters cover the walls, and every face on them feels like a warning. Ethan asks about Professor Harrison, and the bartender immediately becomes careful. When Ethan mentions a missing person and a cave, everyone nearby starts listening. The mood turns cold, and the locals clearly do not want outsiders asking questions. Some warn them to stay away, while others act like the cave should never be spoken about. Ethan thinks the whole thing is just a local ghost story, and he says people probably use it to scare tourists. Olivia explains that they are not here for fun because she only wants to find her mother. Once they get Harrison's address, they leave the pub and go straight to his house. It is late, but Olivia does not want to wait another day. Harrison opens the door with a weapon in his hand, and he tells them to leave. The moment Nadia mentions the Bone Keeper, he shuts the door in their faces. Olivia refuses to give up, and she tells him her grandfather was the journalist who vanished in the cave. That changes everything, and Harrison lets them inside. Harrison warns them not to enter the cave, because everyone who goes in too far disappears. He cannot prove every death was caused by the Bone Keeper, but he knows the danger is real. Ethan says they have cameras and gear, and if the creature exists, they can record proof. Harrison says proof means nothing if they die before they bring it back. Then Harrison shows them something shocking, and Olivia finally sees part of her grandfather's old recording. The footage starts like a normal cave exploration, and it even shows an underground hot spring. Everything seems quiet for a moment, then something attacks the camera. The recording cuts off, and the room becomes silent. Ethan says it could be falling rocks, but Harrison has heard that excuse too many times. He explains that one frame shows the creature clearly, even though most people call it fake. When he found the camera, there was blood all around it. That is why Harrison believes Olivia's grandfather died in that cave. Harrison also believes the creature may not come from Earth, because there are signs of an old meteor impact nearby. Ethan still does not accept that, because aliens and monsters sound too crazy to him. Harrison then reveals that he once saw the creature himself when he was only a child. A tentacle grabbed his leg near the cave, and he barely escaped alive. His leg was badly hurt, and the wound seemed poisoned by something strange. His parents thought an animal had attacked him, but Harrison knew better. Since then, he has spent years studying the cave, even though he is terrified of it. He finally agrees to give the group the location, but he gives them 2 rules. They must stay together, and they must not hunt the creature. They are only supposed to find a small piece of evidence, then leave and call the authorities. Olivia agrees because she only wants answers. But once fear and hope mix together, rules become easy to break. The next day, the group reaches the cave entrance, and the place already feels raw. Ethan brings ropes, cameras, lights, and supplies, trying to make everything look safe. Ashley records almost every step, while Olivia stares into the darkness, as if it is calling her name. One by one, they enter. The cave is not made for tourists, and every step feels unstable. They follow the old map from Olivia's grandfather, but the tunnels twist in confusing ways. Olivia soon finds bloody clothing on the ground, and Nadia notices a strange white substance on the wall. Ravi studies it with his equipment, and he realizes something inside it may still be alive. Nadia thinks it could be some kind of living material, while Ravi says it reacts strangely around water. This makes the cave feel less like stone and more like part of a living system. Ashley keeps filming, as she tries to make the moment exciting for her viewers. But the deeper they go, the less fun it feels. Ashley stops behind the others to record alone, and the cave suddenly becomes too quiet. She hears something move, and she starts to feel watched. At first, she thinks her new friends may be trying to scare her. Then a huge tentacle shoots from the darkness. The Bone Keeper grabs Ashley before she can run. She is too far from the group, and no one hears her final scream. Her camera and phone are left behind, while the cave swallows the rest of her. Just like that, the first person is gone. The others reach a place where the tunnel splits, and they argue about which path to take. Annabelle reminds them that Harrison told them to stay together. Ravi says splitting up will help them cover more ground, and Ethan agrees with him. The group votes, and they make their first terrible mistake. Ravi goes with Nadia, while Olivia continues with Annabelle and Ethan. Nick notices Ashley is missing, and he goes back alone to find her. Now the group is not just split into 2, but 3. The cave has them exactly where it wants them. Nick calls Ashley's name, and his voice echoes through the tunnel. He finds fresh blood on the cave wall, and then he sees her phone on the ground. He knows something bad has happened, but he still keeps moving. A scream comes from deeper inside, and he follows it. Nick finally sees the Bone Keeper, and the monster attacks with terrifying speed. He tries to fight, but strength means nothing against it. The darkness erupts around him, and he disappears into the cave. Another friend is taken, and the others still do not know. Meanwhile, Olivia, Ethan, and Annabelle smell something rotten ahead, and Ethan says it might be a dead animal. They keep walking, even though the walls are covered with more of the white substance. Then they find strands of blonde hair, and it looks human. Ethan saves it in a bag, because it may become evidence later. In another tunnel, Nadia and Ravi keep studying the cave, and their curiosity blinds them to the danger. Nadia sees a tentacle hanging above them, and instead of running, she moves closer. She thinks the creature might be a new species, and she tells Ravi to record it. The tentacle strikes, and Nadia is dragged upward. Ravi is frozen in fear, and there is nothing he can do to save her. He runs, but the Bone Keeper is still nearby. Soon, the monster finds him too, and his scream travels through the tunnels. Olivia's group hears it, and they rush toward the sound. The cave twists the echo, so they cannot tell exactly where Ravi is. They squeeze through a narrow opening, and they finally find him badly hurt. He is alive, but barely. His face is full of panic, because he knows the monster is still close. Then they look around, and they see strange, round shapes hanging above them. At first, they do not understand what they are seeing. Then the truth hits them. These are eggs, and the Bone Keeper is not alone. The group tries to escape with Ravi, but they no longer know the way out. They keep moving until they reach a huge open space, and the horror becomes much bigger than they expected. The area is filled with bones, like a trophy room made for missing people. In the shadows, more creatures move. A larger Bone Keeper hides in the nest, and it is much bigger than the others. When their lights hit the creatures, the monsters pull back. Ethan realizes light hurts or scares them, so everyone turns on every lamp and flashlight they have. The light does not fill the whole cave, but it gives them a small path to move. As they climb, they find part of Ashley's body, and the truth becomes impossible to deny. Everyone they left behind may be dead. Olivia still thinks about Nick and Nadia, but Annabelle tells her they may already be gone. With Ravi dying and the creatures closing in, they have no choice but to keep going up. A scream echoes through the cave, and for a moment, they think Nick is alive. Then they realize something worse. The Bone Keeper can use the bodies of its victims, almost like a parasite. Nick may still be moving, but it may not really be Nick anymore. Ethan wants to go back for him, but Olivia tells him they must save Ravi first. They push toward a possible exit, while the thing using Nick's body follows them. Ethan takes photos, and every camera flash forces the creature to pull away. One by one, they crawl out of the cave. Ethan is the last one out, and he nearly gets dragged back inside. He fights with everything he has, and he barely escapes. Outside, the creature stops chasing them. Even moonlight is enough to make it retreat. The survivors move away from the entrance, and their only focus is keeping Ravi alive. Ethan returns to the cave mouth for supplies, while Olivia and Annabelle stay with Ravi. He comes back with blankets, and they wrap Ravi up to keep him warm. But Ravi is getting worse, and his body is burning with fever. There is no phone signal near the cave, so Ethan climbs higher to call for help. Annabelle sets up a small tent as she tries to treat Ravi's wounds. Olivia cannot relax, because she feels the danger is not finished. Ravi whispers that the creature may be older than humans, and the venom in his body seems to be changing him. Ethan finally gets a signal, and he calls Harrison. He tells him the Bone Keeper is real, and he sends the proof they collected. Harrison sees the evidence, and he immediately contacts the authorities. He knows this is no longer a legend, and a team must reach the cave fast. Back at the camp, Olivia shows Annabelle something she found inside. It is her mother's necklace, and Olivia says her mother never took it off. That means her mother really reached the cave, and Olivia starts thinking about going back inside. Annabelle tells her not to, because her mother is probably gone. Before they can decide what to do, exhaustion takes over, and Annabelle falls asleep. Olivia hears something outside the tent, and the sound gets closer. A tentacle slides toward them, and the Bone Keeper attacks again. Ravi is grabbed first, and he is dragged back toward the cave. Annabelle is taken next, but Ethan returns at the right moment and saves her. For 1 second, he drops his guard. That is enough. The creature grabs Ethan, and Olivia watches him disappear into the darkness. Olivia and Annabelle run, but now they understand the worst part. The monsters are not trapped inside the cave. Huge tentacles move through the trees, and the forest itself feels alive. Annabelle is caught, and Olivia cannot save her. Now Olivia is the only one left, and the guilt almost breaks her. This trip began because of her, and everyone came to help her find the truth. Instead of running away, she makes a painful choice. She goes back into the cave alone. Inside, Ethan is still alive for a short time, and he sees the true body of the giant Bone Keeper. He manages to stream it live, giving the world a glimpse of the monster. Then the creature kills him. His last act becomes the proof they wanted from the start. Olivia enters with every light she can carry, and she moves slowly through the tunnels. She sees pieces of her friends along the way, and each step hurts more than the last. Bone Keepers move around her, but they do not attack right away. It feels like the nest is watching her. At the heart of the cave, Olivia finds a body that looks like her mother. She pushes through the thick white substance, and she takes the necklace from the body. In that moment, the truth finally settles in. Her mother is gone. The Bone Keeper appears, and Olivia has nowhere left to run. Outside, Harrison arrives with an armed team, but the soldiers are already preparing explosives to seal the entrance. Harrison knows Olivia is still inside, and he tries to stop them. The operation keeps moving anyway. Deep in the nest, the largest Bone Keeper stands in front of Olivia. She knows she may die there, just like her mother and grandfather. In a final moment of fear, she plays an old recording of her mother. For some unknown reason, the monster stops. The armed team pushes into the cave, and they open fire on the creatures. The Bone Keepers retreat from the light and gunfire, while Olivia is pulled to safety. Moments later, the entrance explodes and the cave collapses. The creatures are buried underground, at least for now. Time passes, and Olivia survives the nightmare. Harrison warns the authorities that closing one entrance may not end anything, because the cave system may have other ways out. The soldiers act like the mission is finished, but some of them have a secret order. They were paid to capture one Bone Keeper alive. One creature is already trapped inside a bag, and the soldiers think they have one. Then the bag starts moving. The Bone Keeper 2026 movie recap ends with the creature breaking free, and finally, the men realize too late that they have brought the nightmare with them. The Bone Keeper attacks again,